Start with the car.
Right, and as far up right as you're going to go. Exactly. 2 is behind it. That's the one next one close to you. Okay. You're going to do the same thing with number 2. Okay. Now, once you got that, you got one side of the engine done. Clean your valve cover up with your gasket. Some guys like to just put a nice light coating of oil for the gasket. That seems to work too. I shouldn't say it on camera, but I've been known to put just a very small smear of light on your Permatex. Let that thing sit up for a while. And you should never use Permatex on the inside of the engine. Don't ever put enough that it gets any oil. It's a big mistake. Put it back on, clamp her down. She should be nice and leak-free. When you've done that, the next thing to do, we're going to go through 3 and 4. It's the same situation. We're going to go counterclockwise again. This is actually my little diagram. Does show you 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to go counterclockwise again, right? To back to TDC, which is again going to put your valves in the closed position, both valves in number 3. Do the same procedure again. Okay? Check them. Also, it's a good idea when you do a valve adjust to make a note, a mental note. If you have a valve that's really tight, watch it. The simple reason you could have a stem and stretching, you could have something wrong, and it's a good way to head off a problem. Say a couple thousand miles since you're going through a valve adjust, about every 3,000 miles, let's say on a normal schedule. It's a good idea to keep an eye on anything you think is changing. That might be an indication of an exhaust valve from where it needs to start to stretch. You don't want it to stretch and lose a head into a piston. That's the last thing you want. So that's going to push an engine. When you do this, again we go to TDC, which is top dead center, number 3. That's the left side, forward, inside forward. Okay. Make your adjustment. Okay, you got that guy done, fine. And we're going to go one more revolution around again, counterclockwise to BDC, and we're going to come over to number 4, which is left side close to you. That's basically what this means. You are here, there's your cylinders, there's in front of the car. And if you follow that exactly, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, it sounds easy.
It is fairly simple. A lot of people make a mystery out of adjusting Volkswagen valves, and it's really not.
I know a couple people told me mine needed adjusting.
They need adjusting. This is simple. You can follow this. I mean, the funny thing is that a couple years back, they went through this whole thing. The aftermarket got this bright idea that we should all have hydraulic lifters. And I can tell you right now, the horizontally exposed engine, they don't work that way. They're based on oil pressure. If you've got lifters sitting on their sides instead of upright like in the V8, they're going to leak down at you. So when you first start the motor, it's going to sound like a typewriter. I have a Corvair. That thing sits over the window, right? Start it up in another week or two. I have a touch. Start it up in another week or two. For 15 minutes, that engine sounds like it's falling apart. You can count every single valve in. After a few minutes, maybe about 15 minutes of running, it starts to warm up. All of a sudden, you start hearing the noises go away. The first 15 minutes of running of the season, that thing just quiets down and smooths out amazingly. But it's because the lifters have to pump an oil pressure up, whereas a solid lifter, it's a solid block of metal. Your clearance is set here. Nothing between this and that, other than that gap, should ever be moving or should have any type of a variation. So that's why this is very important. If this were too tight, there's a chance that an exhaust valve could hang over the seat. When that exhaust valve comes in at whatever it is, 1,000 degrees or something, one of the things that allows it to cool is when it sits just for that instant, when it hits the seat, it dissipates heat into the head. If that thing hangs open, it's doing 2 things. It's in the blast of the heat, the exhaust leaving the engine, and it's also now not cooling off. It has a very short life when it does that. So that's one of the things you want to watch. The gaps, very important for this. And the thing also, like I said, if you keep a record, let's say you adjust this valve, right, to its perfect 006, you go down the road a little bit, you do a couple thousand miles, you come back, and all of a sudden this thing runs tight, you can't get a 006 in there. I just would watch it very carefully, be suspect of it.
And that would give you some direction as to, to keep an eye to know that you may, in the future, consider maybe a good valve job. Replacing valve holes is not a big deal. So that's one of the things of VW is that, it's an old technology. It comes back from the 30s and beyond. We don't set valves today in cars. If you go to a shop and say, adjust my valves, they look at you like crazy. We need to know how to do this stuff ourselves. That's all reason for all this stuff. So that's the story on that. That's the whole thing. Like I said, it's basic, and if you own a VW, shame on you if you don't know how to adjust your own valves, because it is important. That's the thing.
You got to do it often enough where it doesn't pay you. I mean, it's easy enough to do.
It's easy enough, but it also gets you, to be honest with you, it gets you a little closer to what's going on inside your engine. And it gives you a chance to get under there and see if there's any problems. You probably saw a thing on the website we talked about last year with Mike's engine. And Mike had this engine that was having some problems, and I took it down my basement all winter. We were just going to tighten up some tins and change some oil for the machine for the second time. And lo and behold, I drained the oil and might have been some metal. It wound up being a complete and total rebuild of the whole damn thing. The thing was destroying itself from inside. I won't go into the reasons why, but if we had not done what we've done and we just continued to run that engine, probably nothing would have been saved. We saved the case, we saved basically the cylinders and pistons, and I was able to redo the heads with all new valves. It was supposedly a performance engine that was put together with a mismatched parts. They didn't realize the ability didn't much. They basically threw a lot of parts in there, and because there was a mismatch and things in the valve train, the valve stuff started to get destroyed. The rocker screws were going to look bad. The cam started shaving. I got about 10 to 15 thousandths difference in each cam weight. The cam itself started shedding metal. The cam gear actually shredded itself. He was running heavy-duty valve springs, and nobody wanted to set anything up. So that engine was going through hell. He had the stock push rods which don't work with heavy-duty valve springs. They flex. So he had a whole mess of things in there that went this way. We went through it, and I guess we spent about another $1,200 to $1,300. I put the best of the best in, and so far so good. We made a lot of changes. The cam was a cam that should have been in a 2-liter. Shouldn't have been in the 1776. It means a lot. So these are the things, like I said, you only get bit once. That's a thing. They're fun. They're simple, but they can get away from it. Otherwise, it's a lot to it. So that's the thing. So, now, I hope you're not putting this whole thing on the website. You're trouble, dude. You're trouble with that camera. There you go. Buy a flag. So we got